Alright, that's next one, video 2 of how God knows how many I'm ever going to make. We're going to go over diminished scales. Last time we went over a minor sweep. It's all the same thing, minor, major. If I teach you one, you're going to figure it out as you're going. Minor would be, major would be, so that would be a major. It's no different. It's the same sweeping up pattern, same half sweep down. We're going to get into something a little trickier. Diminished. When you're working on the top 5 strings here, now it applies to everything except for these 2 strings right here in between your G and your B string. Since right here when you're tuning with your D and G, it tunes to the 4th fret opposed to the 5th where everything else would normally tune in a standard setting. You're going to be off by a half a fret, well, half a step rather. And by that, what I mean is, in a diminished scale on any string, you can go up by patterns of 2. You can go. So right there, I started on the E string, which would be my 2nd string from the bottom. Started on the 3rd fret. I went up 2 frets. So you're going to go. So that would be a diminished scale right there. You can apply that by going up on every string. Every string you go up, you're going to go up half a step. So that would just be like my quick little diminished licks I do here every once in a while. I add a little alternate picking. You can get real creative with that. There's also a really interesting way to sweep these, which is something I've just realized. It goes off the same pattern of 4 frets in between your fingers. So if I wanted to start off on maybe like, let's say G, we're gonna do a down sweeping pattern of G and a diminished. We'd start off right here. At the very top, your top 3 strings, I'm gonna start off on 13 on B. And then I'm going to go down to, going down to 9 on B again. So there's that 4 trick there I showed you. Now when you're going down a string, remember how I showed you it goes, it either moves a half step in either way direction. This is a really good way to find out where your next step is going to be, where your next note is going to land on a diminished scale. In this case, it's going to be a half step downwards on the scale. Opposed to it being right here, where you think it would be, it's not. It's down. Right there, so it's down half a step. So we're right here at 13 to 9, and then when we go down to G, we're on 12. And then from 12 on G, we're going to go down to D. We're going to go back to 13 on D. Altogether, those should sound like this. And then we're going to go down to 9 on G. And then we go down to 12 on A. And then from A, here's the tricky part where you normally think it should go a half a step. This is down on the from A to E, you jump a whole step, and this is what really got me mixed up, and it gets me almost mixed up every time I go to record and I want to do something from augmented to diminished. I always mess this up. But you're gonna want to go from here, whole step down onto E. So you're gonna want to go up to the 14th fret opposed to where you think it would do the 13th. You go down to here. So. All together, if you sweep this, it should sound like this. And that is a diminished scale. Just doing a standard up and a half sweep down. You can really, you can use this pattern in 4s on the top and bottom, but once you start getting in between the middle 3 strings here, it gets real tricky and fishy, so you got to really be aware of your holds and your halves. Again, so we're going to start up here on 13 on B, go down to 9 on B, 12 on G, and we're going on D right here, we're going down to 13, and then down to 9 again on D on 13. On A, we're going to 12, and then from A, a whole step down to E on 14. So all together, if you wanted to add, down here you can apply the four fret theory right down here. But after in between these 3 strings, it either moves up a whole, after it either moves up a half step or moves down a half step. So you need to keep applying that as you're going. So again, from the top. And if you ever apply alternate picking into the diminished playing, it sounds pretty gnarly. So I mean, just a simple thing would be like, and you can pretty much go all day with that. So that would conclude my video of diminished, and our next one is going to be on alternate and speed picking.